sit with them and watch it together. Laugh with them. Some of our teenagers don't even know how we laugh. They don't even know that we get excited and laugh as well. Why? Because it's been so long since they spent that time with us. So watch a fun video together and laugh together. Let your children see you smile. Let them see you laugh. Ask them to show you how TikTok trends work. Because some of these things we don't know. Me, I don't feel shy in asking my kids. Like I was asking her certain things the other day, asking why is this here? What does this do? You ask, and that is one way of spending time with them, getting into their world. Let them teach you something online, like editing a photo. How do you do it? How do people do it? Pretend. If you know so much, just pretend you don't. And you'll be surprised. That opens them up. And they'll show you more things, or using an app. You can just pretend you don't understand Snapchat, and you'll be surprised if your kid is in Snapchat, how they come to life and tell you all these things. And before you know it, they would start saying, Mommy, also you follow this one. It's a nice one. They've just posted this, watch it. That is how we get into their world and get to understand them without judging them. And if what they are into is not really that good, we can always have a base to, talk to them, and they can realize it for themselves that, what, I think it's not that good anyway, And I'll give you an example, guys. A dad once told me his son never talked until one day he asked, hey, can you show me how Discord works? And that one question became their new bonding space, just by asking that. And from that time on, they were spending time on just that, because he asked and he knew, and so that bonded them. Parents watching live, drop in the chat. I want you to drop in the chat what your biggest struggle when it comes to your child and social media. I just want any parent that is watching online, I want you to drop in the comment section, what your biggest struggle is when it comes to your child on social media. I just want you to drop in the comments. I will read it. Is it screen time? Is the screen time as in how long your kids stay online? Is it the problem? Or is it time safety? Online safety, as in you're worried your teenager is not safe online. I want you to just drop in the comment section. Is it comparison? I want to hear from you. If you're watching, drop in the comment section. It's a live podcast, guys, and I'll read it after a given slot. But if it's anxiety, guys, sleep issues, loss of confidence, you are not alone. I just want to let you know that you are not alone, because that happens to almost many teenagers. These are common and fixable challenges, because there are others which are not fixable. There are others which are not common, but these ones are fixable challenges. I'm talking about if your challenge is anxiety, sleep issues, loss of confidence, they are fixable, guys. And I just want to encourage you that you are not alone, because those are common and we'll deal with them. So segment 7 is going to talk about health digital habits for the whole family. We are going to come up with them so that we are able to help our teenagers be able to cope with social media and prevent mental health. So here are some powerful digital wellness must start as a family culture, not as a punishment. You can try these few practices, and I bet you they will help a lot. Take free zones. You can have that one as the very first one, where you say the bedroom, the dining areas are for rest and connection. So when you go to the bedroom, no having gadgets. When we are at the dining, no having gadgets. Or if we are eating, gadgets must be away. Guys, this will help. You start it jokingly, and before you know it, it's something that you're practicing and your kids are used to it. I mean, there are places you go and kids are on gadgets, all of them. It's eating time. There's one that I watched on TikTok. I liked that mom. I actually liked the video. The mom was serving food and every kid was coming in with a plate, but with a gadget. So the mom was putting the plate was giving them the plate and putting their gadgets. Yeah, putting a gadget, because it seems like they had phones and tabs. So the mom was calling them to the kitchen. They all came, but they came with their tabs and phones. So what the mom did was giving them the plate and putting a gadget on top and sending them off. But because they were so consumed by their gadgets and what they were watching, they didn't even notice that on the plate was a gadget. And so when they got to the table trying to get and eat with the spoon, nothing was coming up until they all looked on their gadgets, on their plates, and so there were gadgets on there. And that's when they gave up the whole, having gadgets. So we need to create a tech-free zone where the bedrooms, it's time for sleeping, for connecting, for resting. They shouldn't be having gadgets. We need also to create screen Sabbaths, where you pick one day a week to go device free for a few hours. You just say, like, for these hours on Sunday, we don't have gadgets. No one has a gadget on Sunday at this time, from maybe 8 to 2. So no gadgets. That way you get to mingle, talk about life, laugh, watch a movie together, play cards. Now they are going to break off for holiday. We shouldn't buy them these gadgets and just leave them to, what? Yeah, because we are too busy. And so we leave them to, take care of themselves while using these social media platforms. Yeah, you need to also set bedtime boundaries. You can say that, like, all the phones will be out by 10 p.m. Yeah, you can say all phones should be out by 10 p.m. Encourage creation over consumption. When I say that, let them make content. Yeah, they can learn how to make content. What do I mean by that? They can get into music and they just learn how to play guitars because they have them, or play keyboard, or just sing, or draw, or vlog, instead of endless scrolling. Because that endless scrolling, I was talking to one of my kids and asked her, when you just sit there and just scroll, this one is now really small. She's about 6. And I was already concerned about social media and mental health, because I am even forced to reduce on the light for she doesn't get tired. If she runs her tab battery out, she gets someone else's phone. If they run that phone out, she asks for someone else's. It's like she doesn't get tired. So I told her, what do you feel? When do you feel it's enough to stop? And she's like, when I sleep and I start feeling my eyes are itching. And I told her that is a sign you're tired. So you need to sleep so that you don't wear glasses, because even that blue light that comes off the screens of our gadgets, guys, is not good for us. Neither is that light that comes off on our phones, whether it's blue or whatever color. It's not good for us. So we need to limit the time that we are on our gadgets. Praise authenticity is another thing. One of our solutions is to praise authenticity. Compliment who they are, not just what they post. You need to tell your child you're brilliant. They need to hear that, because once they don't get it at home, guess what they will do? Look for it somewhere else. And that's not what we want as parents. We want our children, or you want your child to grow up confident, knowing that it's not the world out there that validates who they are. They know for sure they are. Like, I can never forget someone who told my kid when she was really younger that you look like a monkey, and it hurt her so much. By the time I came to pick her, she was like, Mommy, someone abused me, said I look like a monkey, and she was all in tears. And then I told her, let's go to the mirror. We drove and got home, and I told her to stand in front of the mirror. And then I told her, when you look at yourself, does a monkey look like you? And she said, no. Well, don't you see something is wrong with whoever said it? Don't you see you are God's creation and you look pretty? And she said, yes, I do. Then she stopped crying. It is us, it is our job as parents. That's why I call this the parents' guide. Us as parents to praise authenticity, compliments to our children should be showered frequently so that they know who they truly are. There are times I praise my children and they say that is motherly love, mommy. It's not the truth, it's just motherly love. And I'm like, call it what you want. You are good. You are this. I tell it to them. When we put them down, like I had this mom call one of her kids that you have a big head like your father. No wonder you are ugly like your father. You are the one who went and had her with that man that you're calling ugly. And now your daughter has to deal with that weight that comes from you. And then where will she get the audacity to stand on those social medias? And if she does, and someone says a word, don't you see that her world is really standing thin? Because at home she's getting that, and someone here goes on social media and says you are ugly, you shouldn't even be on social media. That will cause more mental health for our children if we keep that up. And I want us also to remember, replace judgment with guidance. To say, how did that post make you feel? If you get to know they are posting things, like I landed on this video of one of my nieces that I didn't know was on TikTok, and she was going, twerking and dancing, doing all these moves I never thought she could do. And I bet you the mom has never seen. I didn't share the link with the mom so that the mom doesn't get disappointed. But she's now forced to do that secretly. But again, that on the side, this teen is being expressive like that, because on there, when she gets likes, or she's like, I'll post more. So you can go ahead and also ask your teenager, how did that post make you feel? Instead of that is a silly post. Because trust me, she's put it out there. There are people who are going to see it as other things that is not silly, but very beautiful, or this or the other. So do you see how our teens live in the eyes of the public as opposed to the eyes that they know they are? Because if at home I get to be down talked, I'm always accused, I'm told I don't look good enough, I don't measure up, I will look for validation from people who say good things about me. So that's when social media comes in. And if I don't get that validation, guess what I see and feel? I feel like things are not working out. That is all leading to mental health. Now, it leads us to segment 8, where we talk about healing and prevention of mental health. If your child's mental health is already affected by social media, because guess what? It has been there for a long time, and we are just realizing, guys, mental health is real. Mental health is happening. There are people who have, just signed out of this life simply because they cannot take it anymore. Someone said something, or someone posted something, or someone commented something, and they couldn't take it. And guess what? They ended up taking their own lives, which wasn't good. But now that we know it is real, we are going to look at how to prevent and help heal mental health. So if your child's mental health is already affected, maybe anxiety, it is affected with confidence, with isolation, don't panic. Healing is possible, guys. Healing is very much possible. One thing that we should do for starters is talk openly. Gone are the days when we would sit with our parents and they talk to us as parents now of this online generation. Guys, we need to talk to our children openly. Like if you see she's good at something, praise her. If he's good at something, praise him, so that they don't go out there seeking for it. An example, if I didn't grow up with a dad, I will have dad issues, men issues. I don't know how to conduct myself with men. I don't respect them because I didn't grow up with a man. Now, if a child grows up without a parent's praise, that you are able, you are capable, you are beautiful, you are all these good things, they will grow up like a shoe that has been, have you seen those shoes that have bent off one side and it's like they've tipped off, one side has basically just faded off? Yeah, those shoes, even when you're walking, they make you walk a certain way, like you have a tip, a bend at some end. Why? Because the shoe has molded your walk. Now, the words that we shower in the lives of our children growing up will either make them grow up as confident human beings or human beings that have no self-worth. Now, social media is doing that greatest part of putting our children down and causing them to have mental health. Now, what do we do about it? Everything, charity starts at home. Start with you as the parent. Play your part. Talk to your child openly. Ask about what makes them anxious online. Ask them. If they say, I feel anxious if people don't like, if people don't view, tell them to get offline or offline for some time, so that they are able to reconnect themselves and get to know that they are not valid, they are not what their followers said they were, so that they know for themselves who they truly are before going out to the world that is harsh and judges without mercy. So we need to talk to our children openly. And if you've had experiences where someone was not, good to you, say it was mean, share that as well, so they know they are not alone. They know it has happened before, but look how far you have become. Like, I remember one time one of my daughters came home and said, "Oh, mommy, at school, what is training on social media? You have to be an hourglass kind of girl, otherwise you're not." And I'm like, "Who said that?" And she said, "Oh, it's on social media. And those kind of people get so many likes, they get so many praises." And I'm like, okay, they do. But how many of them are married? How many people have you seen in real life that are married with those hourglasses figures? And that's when she got quiet and she said, "Well, I don't know." And I'm like, well, it goes to show you that works for a generation. At the end of the day, when you've grown up, you see for yourself that it's not about how the man looks, the muscles or the packs that he's got on himself. It is, can you live with this person? Can I wake up with this person? Can we get along? Because that's what makes a relationship. You don't relate with this. You don't live with a six-pack. Much as you wake up and see it, that doesn't put food to the table. That doesn't treat you right. Yeah, it is the person. So at the end of the day, there are some things that are core, but we need to talk and speak about them with our children, having those open talks with them. Guys, I know we want to protect them by not talking about certain things, but guess what? Not talking about them doesn't mean they are not there, because they are there. We are just escaping reality for a time, and it's pending. Have you put something on hold for some time? I remember there was this boy at school who didn't want to cough in public because he had a breaking cough, and once he coughed, it was like you hit two wooden things, and so he kept it in. But when it has come, it has come. You need to let it out. He kept it, and by the time he was ready to let go, oh my goodness, it was so many things happening at the same time. And just take it like every hole had to release, and it was a mess. He skipped school for about 3 weeks so that people can forget. But who could forget that? I mean, I'm here and I'm telling you about it. So the things that we keep away, like talking about things, substantial things with our children, having those open talks with them. If we push them thinking they are too young, they can't take this, I can't look in their eyes and tell them this, the world will tell them. And I hope you're ready for what the world will tell them. And guess the other thing that will happen when the world tells them it's not merciful, it's merciless, and you won't like the result. So the best you can do is talk about life with your children. And if you can't, maybe you can let them subscribe to my channel and be on listening for listening terms for these programs, because some of these programs would really be beneficial for us as parents, but also our children. Remember, this channel is all about digesting the Bible with Winfred, but Friday it's about digesting the heart. So issues of the heart, you can go ahead and let them tune in. It would help them. also learn how to be better people. But again, it's best when it comes from the parent. Another one is rebuild self-esteem offline through achievements, through volunteering, or hobbies. We need to rebuild the esteem of our children offline, because online can break them and they make them feel like they are not good enough. They are not measuring up to the world standards. They are not trending. There are some things I do out of spite for my kids, and I just I gave you that cup, I think it is trending, and my daughter is like, Mommy, I think you're mistaking the word. It's not supposed to be used in that context, but I do, and I do it intentionally, just to try and get them to talk, just to try and get into their world by using their terms. I may use them wrong intentionally, but it gets them talking. So the other thing that I was saying is rebuilding their self-esteem. How do you rebuild their self-esteem when the world has broken it up? And do this offline is by speaking, spending time with them. If they have some ability, praise them about it. If they have something good about them, let them know they have it. So the world doesn't come and tell them lies, that they are not good enough, they shouldn't even be here. The world will be cruel, but it should be with us as parents that we encourage them to be who they are. Like they love art and they are not yet at their best, but they have the passion for art. You tell them you will go places. You just add in more effort. You continue buying the markers, the colors, the books, and let them draw. And before you know it, that one paint, I've seen crazy paints that don't make sense, but you find someone at the art gallery looking at them stealthily, trying to make sense of what the artist was doing, when actually it was a mistake. But if we encourage them, they rise up to greater heights. Like they are singing and they've not got the best voices. Guess what? If you encourage them, they'll even get better and probably realize for themselves that, I think it's not for me. I've tried. I've loved singing. I understand you praise me all the time, but I think it's not for me. Let them realize for themselves, not the world dictating who they are, what they can do, and what they can become. We as parents need to do that. We tend so much to entrust our children to the world, to tame, to bring up, to praise, to lift, when it's actually our job and we should be the ones doing it. I don't believe in boarding schools. That will be a topic of another time. I don't believe in them. I'm sorry, those of you who are for boarding schools and it has worked out positive for you. I don't believe in boarding schools because, for starters, I believe that God gave me these children to raise them up. If I've failed to play my part as a parent, then boarding school won't do it for me, because the world can't be taught in the same thing. In boarding school, you learn, you wake up at 6, you do this, and sleep at this time. Not everyone is going to be cut out to become that in life. Some are going to be nurses who wake up very early and have night duties. Others, and so they need to grow up knowing their lifestyle will be that. Others are probably going to be musicians who perform, on weekends, and so the rest of the week they are chilling. So I want to raise them up and see the difference. Boarding school grooms you all up to be the same. You sleep at 6, you wake up at this. That is why for us who grew up in boarding schools, we tend to have the same things. I know of a great friend who said she grew up when she was told a girl has to know how to prepare matoke. Those of you who don't know what matoke is, it's green banana. And it's one of those staples in Uganda among the Baganda people. They like matoke so much. If you met a Muganda who loves matoke, you'd, get curious and want to taste it as well, because it means a lot to them. They want to eat matoke, lunch, supper, even if possible, breakfast. Now, she was made to prepare matoke. It was hot. When you're making matoke, it has a way you prepare it. You have to press it with your hands when it is hot, and so it would burn her. While they're teaching her that, they are thinking they're equipping her with a life skill of how to be a good wife to her husband. While inside she was breaking, and from there on she hated matoke and didn't like any husband who liked matoke, because it was to her a punishment. Now, She grows up and they made her also make, because the baganda take it so much with peanut sauce. It is very tasty for those who like it. And she was making it, and while she was cooking, it spilled over. And when it spilled, it even burnt her legs because she was young doing it. And it spilled over her feet. And instead of them, working on her because she had hurt herself while cooking, remember she was young, they beat her because they had lost some peanut sauce in the process, and they beat her. Now she grew up hating matoke and peanut sauce. Those are foods that Baganda like, and she's a Muganda, and that's food that she would ideally like. But from there on, she hated it. She doesn't even want to come. I mean, if she comes to your house and that's what you've prepared, she would rather go hungry than eat. So you see that it's how something was delivered that she hated food that is ideally good for some people. And had they probably brought it a different way, she could have received it different. So guys, how we talk to our teenagers would also be a very big part in their lives, and how they turn out. Like I said, we are rebuilding their self-esteem. We're rebuilding their self-esteem offline through achievements. Praise them for the good things that they have done. If there is anything they are capable of, praise them for that as well. And also for volunteering and hobbies. Another thing that we need to do is limit social comparison. Unfollow toxic accounts together. Get into her accounts. And if she happens to tell you someone did this and the other, don't be like, let's take away the gadget. You can talk about it, and then you'll be like, let's unfollow this one, because this one is not any good. They don't have